This is the stage door of the Hackney Empire, which is one of the last of the great variety theatres in the London area. Here in this beautiful theatre, right across the way here, have appeared all the great variety stars, Dan Leno, Mary Lloyd, and Bransby Williams. I don't know how many other great artists. Do you remember those people, ladies? Yes, I don't. You do?
Yes, no reach for the goal.
You've seen them, yes. And we've been shooting a film across there. Before that, I rehearsed a play in this theater and got to know it that way, and got to know these ladies who live in this lovely old house. And I'd like you to read this sign. It's right across here. It took my attention, and I'd like to show it to you. Out of the pious intention of William Spurstow, D.D., deceased, formerly vicar of this parish of Hackney, these 6 almshouses were erected and built Anno Domini 1666 for the habitations and dwellings of 6 poor widows of this parish, of good life and conversation, who died before he made a settlement upon the said almshouses, and after his decease, Henry Spurstow, late of London, Esquire, brother to the said doctor, to perfect and establish the doctor's good work Anno Domini 1667, settled forever certain lands in the said parish on several trustees for the said 6 poor widows' better support and maintenance, and for no other persons whatsoever, in testimony whereof Henry Spurstow of London, gentleman, son of the said Henry, hath erected this inscription Anno Domini 1689, rebuilt 1819. That means that these handsome group of houses, one house with several, getting a little heckling in the back, there's a pub across the street there, and that angry voice you hear is a client. What are you laughing about? What are you laughing? Here are the ladies. Here are the ladies. We've become good friends. Here are the 6 poor widows in question of this particular Anno Domini. And some widows they are too. Just look at them. You must stop flirting with me. I'd like you to meet some of these people. I'm going to take the camera over here for a minute, if I may. How long have you been living here?
You.
That's right. You're the one that's all this time.
I've been here the longest.
You've been here the longest.
22 years.
22 years is you, and you're...
2 years.
You're the juvenile, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, you just arrived. And you're just visiting, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, you're just a visitor.
And she's dead. She can't.
Yes. And which house do you live in?
Me? I live in
Yes,
the first one.
you live in the first
I live in
one.
the second.
Yes.
That one.
And what do you...
That one, this one.
That's one.
Yes. You're that one.
That's right.
Yes.
And what do you do? Now tell me, you tell me that you sometimes go in the garden and dance. What else do you do with your time?
Oh, yes, so I find plenty to do.
What do you do?
Oh, sewing and needlework.
You do that?
Yes, make nice little things, the bazaars.
And you cook?
Yes. Oh, rather.
Yes. You all cook, don't you?
Yeah.
You all do your own cooking.
Yes.
Do you ever cook for each other?
Yes.
No.
No, you all do cook your own meals. You never cook a meal for the other one.
No.
Never invite the other one over to have a meal.
No.
Never?
Never. Just a cup of tea.
Just for a cup of tea, but never for a meal. You each go home to your own little house and have your own meal.
Yeah.
Nobody ever invites anybody else for dinner.
No.
Now, why is that?
Can't afford it.
Can't afford it? Well, if one of you invited you one night and one the other, wouldn't it add up to the same thing?
We go out more than that.
What?
We go out more.
You go out more?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Where do you go?
Where we can get.
Where you can get. And where do you get?
Empire Pictures.
Empire Pictures.
Anywhere we got to have a little pleasure.
A little pleasure, hmm?
That's everything we live for.
Live for pleasure. You just live for pleasure. Is that true of you,
Be kind
too?
to other people.
What?
And be kind to other people.
And be kind to other people. Wonderful.
That's what we want to be. Kind to one another.
Is that your attitude?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the way you feel about it? Of course, you're a very busy one with your needlework, aren't you?
Yes, oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's
So you don't just live for pleasure, you're busy doing your sewing. Yeah, that's right.
It is true.
I belong to the British Legion.
You do?
And I'm an unrepentant old Tory.
An unrepentant old Tory.
And I belong to the Conservative Association.
I see.
I was divisional chairman of the women's section for 17 years.
Were you indeed? Now,
I'm now retired in disgust.
You retired in disgust? I see. Well, tell me, are all you ladies of the same political persuasion? Are you a Tory too?
Oh, we're all true blues.
All Tories?
Yeah. All Tories.
It's a Tory stronghold, in other words.
Yes, well,
You too?
I don't know what I am.
You don't know what you are.
You fibber, you are a Tory.
Well, anyway, she likes her dance back in the garden, whether she's a Tory or not. She told me. All right. Now, how about this sign up here? Is that true, what it says?
Yes.
It's true. What is the story of the place? Could you tell it to me?
Oh, it's brothers, the belongs to brothers.
Belong to brothers.
Yeah, it's put in a trust as far as I know.
Put into a trust.
Yeah. 1663.
Yes, for widows, of good character and good conversation, it says.
Yes.
Now, do you figure you have good conversation?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. At times.
At times. All right.
I don't want my name pulled out.
All right, we won't tell your name.
Clemson.
We won't tell anybody unless you want it. What do you think I should do?
Secret.
What's the secret?
Cut that out.
Cut what out? I understood you to tell me that you were related to some cinema people.
I am, I believe.
Who are you related to?
Warner Brothers, I believe.
The Warner Brothers. Are you indeed?
I believe so.
I didn't know that they came from England originally.
No, they got rid of many years ago.
Is that a fact?
As far as I can hear.
Yes. Have you never written to any of the Warner Brothers about it, though?
No.
Well, if I ever see one of
Give my
them,
love to them.
I'll give your love to them. I certainly will do that. Well, I'll bring Jack Warner up here to say hello to you sometime.
That's right.
Right.
Call him John, not Jack.
All right, I'll call him John. And who would he be? Would he be your nephew, do you think, or your cousin?
Oh, he'd be a second cousin, I should think.
A second cousin.
Must be.
Cousin John. Cousin John Warner. Well, good. Tell me something. Do you find it's lonely living all by yourself in one?
No, I'm used to it.
You're used to it. You like it.
I'm used to it.
Yes.
Living in the 60
And then you
years.
chat with your neighbors.
Oh, yes, we have a dance around out the back.
You have a what?
You know, have a dance out the back now and again.
A dance out in the back.
No, we can cock our legs up.
You. What else do you do? You play cards?
No?
You play cards? What else
No,
do you
we
do?
don't play cards.
No.
No.
You prefer to dance?
That's what
Well, good enough. I must come back there and see you do it sometime. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You know, I used to have quite an extraordinary number of great aunts. Well, maybe number isn't the best phrase for it. We speak of droves and herds and schools of fish and a pack of wolves and a gaggle of geese and a pride of lions. That's a wonderful expression, a pride of lions. And a rumination of cows. That's actually the expression. It's a herd of cattle and a rumination of cows and a murmuration of swallows. Or is it a surprise of swallows? Sure, I don't know. And I'm certain I don't know how to describe a plurality of great aunts. An eccentricity of great aunts, maybe. Well, certainly mine were numerous and a trifle on the eccentric side. And there was one of them, this is why I'm bringing this up, who was always described in our family as growing old gracefully. Now, that isn't to say that the other great aunts were positively ungainly in the business of bearing the burden of their years, but this one, everybody agreed, grew old gracefully. Well, it just happened that she was the one with the most money. I think that's pretty obvious. I won't labor the point. It's clearly much easier to be graceful about being aged if there's a little something put away in the sock. Because, of course, growing old is no joke. It's not only the loss of youth and vigor, but the loss of friends and loved ones. In all too many cases, the loss of ordinary human companionship. To be old and indigent is not just an economic problem. It can be a tragedy in human terms, a tragedy of loneliness. Now, it's true that there's bound to be companionship of a kind in even the most crowded state institutions for the aged, but all too often there's another sort of loss involved. A loss of dignity. A loss of the sense of individuality. And that's why I admire, and I think British people should be so proud of the institutions such as this almshouse we've been visiting, where the 6 poor widows of Hackney are certainly maintaining their individuality with a vengeance.